Do you know how much it really costs to make a single bottle of Budweiser, Heineken, or Jack Daniels? And how much profit the factory owners actually make?
But before we reveal the numbers, we're taking you inside the factory to show every difficult and tiny step involved in making a bottle from start to finish.
Secrets the factories never want you to see. Before a single bottle is brewed, every ingredient has its own journey. The barley isn't just any grain. It's grown in carefully selected fields, often in the Midwest for American beers or Europe for Heineken. Farmers monitor it for size, starch content, and moisture. Hops, the flower that gives beer its bitterness and aroma, are grown in special hop gardens, some in Germany, some in the Pacific Northwest. Harvest timing is critical to lock in flavor. Water isn't ordinary. Breweries often source it from local springs or purified municipal water and adjust minerals for the perfect taste. Yeast, the tiny microorganism that turns sugar into alcohol, is cultivated in labs to ensure consistency and potency. Each ingredient is tested multiple times before it even reaches the factory, because one small flaw at this stage can ruin the entire batch. The barley is soaked in massive stainless steel tanks filled with carefully controlled water. This step is called steeping. The goal is to wake the grain without drowning it. Too much water and the barley suffocates. Too little and the process never properly begins. Once soaked, the barley is spread out and allowed to germinate. Tiny sprouts begin to form, activating natural enzymes inside the grain.
These enzymes are critical stages because without them, starch can never turn into sugar later in the process. And without sugar, there is no alcohol.
This is where beer technically starts being possible. But this stage is extremely fragile. Workers monitor temperature, humidity, and oxygen levels hour by hour. Sensors track internal grain moisture, while technicians physically inspect the barley for uniform growth. Every batch behaves slightly differently, depending on the harvest, storage conditions, and even the weather from weeks earlier. When germination reaches the exact target point, the process must be stopped immediately. The barley is transferred into large industrial kilns and slowly dried. This step locks in enzyme activity while preventing further growth. 1 degree too high in the kiln, and the enzymes are destroyed, permanently damaging flavor and alcohol potential. 1 hour too long in germination, and the sugars won't develop properly later, weakening the entire brew. At this stage, there is no fixing mistakes. A failed malt batch is discarded, costing thousands of dollars before brewing even begins. That's why experienced workers treat malting as a precision operation, not a routine task. This is the first critical step in beer production, and every step that follows depends entirely on getting this one right. Malted barley is crushed into grist, then mixed with hot water in massive mash tuns. This is mashing. Starches convert into sweet wort. Machines constantly stir. Temperatures are tracked with digital sensors, and samples are taken every 10 minutes. Too hot or too cold, enzymes won't work. Too thick a mash, and it clogs the system. Many batches fail at this stage if not monitored carefully. The wort is then boiled. Hops are added in stages, early for bitterness, middle for flavor, and late for aroma. Timing is crucial. Add too early, aroma is lost. Too late, bitterness is wrong.
Every second is calculated by factory software and supervisors.
This is where the beer's signature taste begins to form, the delicate balance of art and science. After boiling, the wort must be cooled rapidly before fermentation. Too fast, and the yeast gets shocked. Too slow, and bacteria can ruin the batch. Giant heat exchangers drop the temperature while maintaining oxygen levels, monitored by automated systems and workers checking every valve and sensor. This is where the magic happens. Yeast is added to the cooled wort, consuming sugars and producing alcohol and carbon dioxide. Fermentation can take days or weeks depending on beer type. Workers constantly monitor pH, temperature, and sugar content. A small imbalance can produce off flavors or flat beer. This is called the heart of the factory. Everything depends on it. Once fermentation is complete, beer rests in maturation tanks. Flavors develop, and solids settle. Some beers are aged in barrels for special additions. Filtration removes solids, yeast, and residues. Too aggressive, and beer loses character. Too soft, and it stays cloudy. Workers taste and measure each batch multiple times before approval. Before packaging, carbonation levels must be exact. CO2 is injected and balanced. Automated sensors measure pressure, and samples are tasted for flavor and aroma. Any batch failing this step may be reprocessed or discarded. Every bottle must meet strict quality standards. Finally, the beer reaches packaging, the last chance for everything to go right, or for months of work to be destroyed in seconds. The beer is bottled, canned, or kegged on fully automated high-speed lines. Each line fills hundreds of containers per minute, sealing them immediately to protect carbonation and flavor. The timing here is ruthless. Filled too fast and foam forms. Filled too slow and oxygen sneaks in, silently ruining shelf life. But packaging isn't just about speed. Pressure inside every bottle or can must be perfectly balanced.
A fraction too high, and containers can leak or burst during transport. A fraction too low, and the beer goes flat before it ever reaches a store shelf.
Sensors constantly measure fill level, pressure, and seal integrity in real time. Cameras scan caps and labels at full speed, rejecting anything even slightly misaligned. When a problem appears, the line doesn't slow down. Entire batches are pushed off automatically. This is why workers stand watch every second. They monitor screens, listen for abnormal machine sounds, and manually inspect random samples. One missed warning can destroy thousands of bottles in minutes, wasting product, packaging, labor, and money. Packaging may look routine, but in reality, it's one of the most unforgiving stages in the entire factory. At this point, perfection isn't optional. It's the only way the beer survives the journey to your hands. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for. Making one bottle of Budweiser, Heineken, or Jack Daniels can cost anywhere from $8 to $10, depending on ingredients and labor. Factory owners sell it for $21 to $25 in stores. But after seeing every step, every tiny challenge the workers face, you'll understand that every sip is the result of precision, effort, and science combined. Now that you've seen every hidden step, every tiny challenge, and the true cost behind your favorite beers, imagine what other factory secrets are waiting to be uncovered.
If you want to keep discovering how the things you love are really made, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, JMO, because the journey has only just begun.